welcome to the Toffee Blue Extra Show, your midweek extra source of all things Everton. I'm back here with Paul this week. Welcome, Paul.
Hiya, mate. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, no worries. We got some good feedback last week, didn't we? The extra show starting to go down well, so we've both retained our place in the side this week.
Yeah, I enjoyed it last time, and we got loads of nice comments. People saying that they liked the midweek stuff and that they want to see more of it. So, roll on. Let's do it. Let's do it again, and hopefully, people enjoy this one as much as they enjoyed last week's one.
Yeah, definitely. Let's give them some more if that's what they want, definitely. Yeah, let's crack on with today's show anyway. So yeah, in conclusion, Chelsea 11-0. I thought it was a good result. So yeah, we got a point out of it. It was obviously going to be a difficult game because Chelsea have been high flying this season under Starry, and I know they were very good in the country, but they just seem so much more tactically aware under Sarri, and they're playing a completely different game, but they all seem to have adapted to it, and we managed to kind of tactically match them, and Silva made us players so compact that we pressed them well, we defended well, and we pretty much marked their key players out of the game, and we kept them quiet for most of the game anyway. I know the second half was a little bit nervy at times when they had plenty of chances, but I thought all in all we performed pretty well, and we obviously had the Davidson's Yerry Mina in there who performed really well among others. But yeah, Paul managed to catch the game in Prague anyway. What do you think of the game?
What you said, basically, I thought we got our tactics spot on. We managed to stifle their most important players, Hazard and Jorginho and Morata, the players who can really hurt you in their team. We managed to keep them relatively quiet, or we managed to make sure that they weren't able to really get on the ball and hurt us to any great extent. And I think it showed because they ended up getting frustrated and lashing in a few mad fouls and, theatrically going over. We'll talk about that later on. Certain player who threw himself on the floor. Well, as you said, I think it was just a really well-worked game plan. Everyone stuck to the task really well, and that sometimes doesn't happen when Everton go away to these big, intimidating away grounds. We sort of stick to a plan for a little bit, and then players just kind of get lost in their own heads and lose concentration, and it ends up costing us. But it didn't happen in this game. I think everyone just really, really stayed switched on throughout the 90 minutes. Everyone did their job to a T. I wouldn't say there was a single player who performed really, really badly. I think a few players had good games, a few players had below par games maybe, but yeah, no one really stuck out for being bad. So a point down there and a clean sheet as well. That's a good result no matter how you look at it. We're the first team, I think, all calendar year to keep a clean sheet down at Stamford Bridge. A lot of really great teams have gone there over the past while and not managed to keep Chelsea out. Barcelona is one of them. Liverpool's another one. City, Arsenal, Tottenham. They've all gone to Stamford Bridge and not been able to keep a clean sheet, and we've just done it. So I think that's just further proof that things are slowly going forwards under Marco Silva. We are improving. We are going in the right direction. And yeah, as you said, I think it was a result to really feel positive about.
Yeah, definitely. That just confirms to me that we are better than Barcelona, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Liverpool. Clearly, as you've just said, the stats back us up anyway. So we're clearly the best team in the world. But no, we defended really well, and that's something that's become a characteristic of Marco Silva's play in the last few weeks. Because when he was brought in, we thought he's going to be an attacking manager, which is what we needed after Sam Allardyce. But we weren't sure about his defensive capability as a manager, and he seems to have got it to a T with these new incomings anyway, because we were looking back last season with Jagielka and Williams, we were relying on those and we didn't really trust them. And now you're looking at a solid defence who leaks very little, if anything at all. We've got choice in centre-backs. We've obviously got Mina came into the side because Zuma was ineligible, and we don't know who's going to play next week because, after the international break, because either of them could, any of the three could get in the team because they're all performing really well, and obviously Coleman's getting to more on top of his game anyway, and Dina played really well as well. Shout out to Luca Dean, by the way, for liking our player ratings. But yeah, we're becoming quite defensively solid, so it's really good. And obviously the defensive midfield as well of Andre Gomes and Idrissa Gueye forming a really solid partnership in midfield as well. I just found they didn't really have any key players. We were talking about danger men, weren't we? Like in the last segment we did, and they didn't really have any standout players. They had a lot of obviously Morata like the moan and stuff, but no one really stood out, and we managed to keep Eden Hazard quiet, which is very difficult and not many teams managed to do. How do you think we managed to do that?
I think going back to what we said, I think Silva got his tactics spot on. He's clearly done his homework and watched tapes of Chelsea to try and work out where all their creative flair comes from, how to stop them. And I think he got it spot on in the sense that he realised that their creative heartbeat is Jorginho in the centre of midfield. Everything flows through him. And if you can just shut him down, if you can get him frustrated, if you can keep him on the periphery of the game, then it all trickles down. And if he's playing poorly, a lot of other players in the Chelsea team will play poorly as well because they're not getting the service from him. Hazard had a really quiet one, as you said, but that was because we didn't man-mark Hazard. I don't really think a player of his quality can be man-marked. We just stopped him getting the ball, we stopped the service to him. We closed down Jorginho, who couldn't get his head up and just have a minute to himself. He was completely stifled by Gay and Gomes, and players like Hazard just couldn't get on the ball and work his magic for any point. Morata wasn't getting the ball in and around the box, as you said, and he ended up just getting frustrated and falling over and moaning to the referee and clutching at straws, basically just trying to buy a goal or a decision from anywhere because he wasn't getting any chances in the box, any clear-cut chances. So I thought we played really well because we realised what Chelsea's biggest strength was, and we took that away from them. If you just keep Jorginho quiet, so many other players that they have, your Moratas, your Hazards, your Willians, they'll just kind of, what's the word? They'll kind of just retreat into their own heads and just try and rely on just individual moments of magic, and it didn't come off for them. So kudos to Marco Silva. He clearly did his own work. He clearly watched a lot of old footage of Chelsea from this season, and he worked out a perfect way to completely isolate and stifle their creative mojo, Chelsea's heartbeat. And to be honest, we had one or two shaky moments in the last half an hour or so, but I didn't at any point feel that a goal was coming, really. I thought we stuck to our job brilliantly and we looked fairly comfortable throughout.
Yeah, I think we stopped him at the source, didn't we, as you say, with Jorginho. And he was one among many of the Chelsea players who pretty much lost a rag because they were being stifled so much. They just lost it and they started being quite petty and dirty. Quite a few of them, not just Jorginho with his tackle on Sigurdsson, which he probably should have been sent off for, which we will discuss. But also, we had a few other incidents like, well, there could have been several sending offs, and then there was Morata going down diving in and around the box plenty of times, and then Fabregas picking up the magic spray and moving it forward for the free kick as well. I just saw the clip of that earlier. I thought, hang on a sec, he's tried to find a little loophole in the new rule, but that was ridiculous. But surely the referee got quite a few decisions wrong there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it was not the referee's best day, but I wouldn't go out to my way to say the referee was intimidated and he was deliberately just helping Chelsea out or helping us out, vice versa. I think he just lost his head. I think it was just too big an occasion for him. He couldn't handle the Chelsea players stropping and moaning and complaining for everything. He couldn't handle. What's the word? He couldn't manage. He couldn't actually manage the game. That's the key word. Manage. He couldn't keep everyone's tempers under control. He couldn't make sure that the players knew that he's in charge and that his authority has to be respected. He seemed like It reminded me of just when a substitute teacher's taking hold of a ruling class. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, all these kids are just running around doing their own thing, and he's just trying to survive. Basically, he's just waiting for the end of the lesson, and so he can live to teach another day. So Kevin Friend, he wasn't any friend to us in the game. I don't even think he was a particularly friend of Chelsea, because I don't really think he, as I said, I don't really think he went out of his way to favour either team. I think he just couldn't act the pressure of the situation, and he couldn't act the players' big personalities like Hazard and Jorginho and Morata and players like Sigurdsson and Mina as well. Mina got involved in the argy-bargy stuff. He just couldn't handle all these players just getting in his ear and telling him what to do and complaining. I think he just shouldn't be managing top teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not the only poor referee, but he's definitely one of the poorest.
It's not I feel like officiating in the game at the moment is not the best standard, is it? Like with all these calls of VAR, there were some terrible decisions. But one that stuck out in my mind, would you call that a penalty, Mina, on Morata?
I've seen them given. To be honest, I wouldn't say it was clear. penalty, but I think Mina maybe has got away with it just a little bit. But saying that though, I think Morata's got no one to blame but himself for not getting that awarded, because he was behaving like such a baby all day. He was being that petulant and that stroppy, and then throwing himself on the floor and complaining for absolutely everything. That I think the referee just got as fed up with him as we did. And the referee just made up his mind quite quickly. Look, I can't take anything you do seriously unless I see you getting completely hacked down. Then you're not getting anything off me, because I know what you like. And that's Morata's own fault. If he just played it straight faced and by the book, then I think he would have got a lot more. But if you're just going to be throwing yourself on the floor every 5 minutes, it's just the boy who cried wolf, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Just to sum it up anyway, who do you think were Everton's best performers in the game?
There's a few deserve mention. Pickford made some really important saves, some really good ones. Mina was a tank at the back, an absolute colossus. Keane, I thought, was great as well. If he's going to be playing like that, then he should be in that England team first choice. He shouldn't just be getting called back into the squad. He should be in the England team in competitive games. I think Keane, at his best, is better than the likes of Harry Maguire and probably who's the one he played. His name escapes me.
Who's he playing for? Never watched England myself, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no. They played like a three at the back. Like, Kyle Walker. That's it. Kyle Walker's. Yeah, Kyle Walker's a great player, but Kyle Walker's a fullback, and he's mostly been playing on like the right side of a three man centre back formation for England. So what I was trying to say is, when Michael Keane plays the way he's been playing, and like he did against Chelsea, I think he deserves to be in that best England 11.
Yeah.
So he was great. Mina was great. Dean, as you said, Dean really worked his backside off. He whipped in a lot of crosses and he kept going. He was really good as well. Gomes was a steady Eddie as usual. As I said earlier on, I don't think there was any one standout player who you could say played bad. I think a lot of them played decent to good type standards. So my man of the match, if I had to just go for one, you know what, I think you'd probably have to give it to Mina, because it was his first full start. It's a baptism of fire, isn't it, going down to Stamford Bridge, of all places, for your full debut. You're playing next to someone who I don't think Mina speaks particularly good English, or at least I haven't seen any interviews of him speaking English, and I seriously doubt Keane can speak whatever language Mina speaks. So, there's obviously got to be a communication problem there between the two of them, but you wouldn't think it the way they were playing. They didn't ever look confused at any point. They didn't look out of sync at all. And as I said, that's your first game for a new club against such a brilliant team like Chelsea, and you're trying to handle the likes of Morata and Hazard coming at you, and you're playing as well as that. You're winning every ball, you've got 100% pass completion. That's a stat I saw today. Mina, I think, really, really deserves a pat on the back for that. I think if he'd have come in and played absolutely bad, absolutely terrible, if he'd have been really bad, I think he probably could have been forgiven, considering the type of situation he was getting thrown into. But it was the complete opposite. He was great, and I think he deserves to start next game. Might be harsh on the likes of Zuma, but I think when you play that well, you don't deserve to be dropped.
Definitely. Well, after we'll discuss that one when we're previewing Cardiff next time out. Anyway, so there's a little teaser for your extra show next time. So tune in. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there anyway. In conclusion, Chelsea 0, Everton 0. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video, and give us a follow on social media. Our Twitter handles are below, and you can find us both on the Toffee Blues website also, which is there's a link to on our Twitter. Paul's got a match report coming up as well, which you should give a read, which will be out by the time you're watching this, so definitely give that a read as well. And thanks for watching.